Vance, will you give us a roll call, please?
Charles Bradshaw,
Present.
Carl Pavalonis,
Present.
Lehigh Steed,
Present.
Royal Barlow,
Present.
Mike Bradshaw,
Present.
quorum is present.
I am the commissioner. My name is Charles Bradshaw. With that, I will say a word of prayer. Our Father in heaven, we approach you at this appointed hour, and we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. Pray that you'll bless us with your spirit, that we can do so in a pleasing manner before you, that the things that are before us this day can be acted upon in accordance with thy mind and will and with the best interest of this community. We pray for your spirit to attend us, and thank you for all things, and we ask and pray for this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. I was not here last time, but does any commissioners have anything to comment on the minutes of last time? And if not, then we will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of September 8th, 2025.
We have a first.
Second.
We have a first by Commissioner Lehigh, second by Commissioner Michael Bradshaw. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appears unanimous. Okay, our next item on the agenda is public comment. Is there anybody from the public that has anything to address this commission that is not specifically on the agenda? Okay. With that, we will close this general meeting and open up to public hearings. And we will start with zoning map amendment parcel 40453-321 from RE1A residential to R112 single family. Is there anybody from the public that would like to address this one? Item B, amendment for parcel 40421-067 from RE1A residential estate to R120 single family residential. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address this one? Item C, amendment for parcel 4045325 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single family residential. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address this one? Item D, amendment for parcel 40453-077A from RE1A residential to C2 commercial. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address this one?
Yes.
340 West Arizona.
Please state your name.
Luke Anthony Meredith.
Okay.
Probably didn't need my middle name, did you?
No,
It's okay.
but
I'm
you're
just
fine.
used to it, you know. I was about to give my social security number too. I was military, but, so I'm with the Dream Center.
Okay.
We have a building catty corner to that, and it's a residential support facility for families. And
Okay.
so I believe right now it's just going. The UEP is the owner. They're just making it commercial, and they probably have to do that to sell it to anybody. So we just wanted to raise some thoughts about the families there, the children there, the traffic on those corners, and if we're adding more cars and drinking, because I was advised that the plan is that it will be the brewery. Love the guys at the brewery, appreciate their business. I think it's great for them, great for the town. I think Central is a great place for them, but they are looking at coming right there to that corner, and it's kind of on the border of, you know, residential, and then a lot of it is commercial right after that. And then I know right across the street is Blue Agave. They have their liquor license too. So it may be kind of a bygone, you know, conclusion, but we just wanted to officially share our thoughts. Maybe stop signs at that junction right there. Be a little easier to put police DUI checkpoints, or, you know, let them be sneaky and catch folks coming out. You know, if there were stop signs right there, I don't know what else we could consider, but we do have children, foot traffic, and a bunch of, it's bad enough right now with the kids on there, motorbikes and so forth. Bless their hearts, I love them, but it's a intense intersection as it is. That, and I understand there is a noise ordinance, and I don't know if it's a conversation for the owners in the future or something when they go for their liquor license, but we will be in favor of enforcing that noise ordinance at 10 p.m. because we got a house full of families there. So I think that's all I got for public
Okay.
comment. Any questions?
Nope.
Yes, thanks.
Anyone else on this item?
My name's Dalton Barlow. My concern with this is C2 allows for even a motel. They could plow that school over and put a motel in. And so I think like a C1 would be more suitable. Just my thoughts. I think it should be commercial. I wish it was a school, but here we are.
Okay,
That's my thoughts.
thank you. Anyone else from the public? Okay, we'll move on to item E, amendment for parcel 404-53160 from RE1A residential estate to R2 small lot residential. Anyone from the public that would like to address this one? Okay, we will close this session and open up the regular meeting. The session is closed at, I forgot to see what the other one was, but 5:07 is when we're closing. You'll have to make up the time for the other one because I didn't write it down.
I got it.
Okay. Okay, we are now into item number 7, which is for us to consider parcel 404-53321, amendment to R1, from R1A residential to R12 single-family residential. And Vance, will you introduce this, and was there anybody that wrote in or
No,
any
we
concerns?
did not. We
Okay.
did not receive any written comments on
Okay.
any of these. So. Okay, this is a zoning map request, a zoning map amendment by Alan Beislein. He wants to create 2 single-family residential lots via the flag lot process. And I believe Mr. Timpson is here to speak to a good share of these, if you have questions on them.
I don't necessarily have any questions because it's just a straightforward flag lot and they are what they are. So unless the commissioners have anything.
No, it seems pretty straightforward.
When those homes went in, it was pretty obvious that was gonna be the eventual plan.
So with that, I will
Well,
make,
so I have a question,
Yes.
because there is already a flag lot to the west,
Mhm.
so and they can't, the flags portion of 2 flag lots can't be adjacent. So they would have to be on the east side.
It looks like from the position of his home, it was gonna have to be there anyway.
Well, yes, on here, but when you drive by, there's already a driveway going back the other side on the west side. We just need to make sure that
I
the
don't
flag,
recall that the flag lot prohibits them being adjacent. It just prohibits one flag serving 2 lots.
Yeah, he'll have to make sure that he comes under
But
whatever
the way the lots are laid
whatever
out, then
the,
I think we're
code
already,
is.
yeah,
But for sure, they can't be one driveway.
right.
They have to be 2 separate driveways
And they have to have the
and all the
right
other
width
stuff. So,
and everything for that driveway, not including the neighbors.
anything else?
is Thomas, I have a question for you. Because we got 2 of these. So,
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Thomas Timpson. I'm representing Alan Beislein on this.
and then you representing Jay Beislein on the one on Edson also?
Yep.
Okay. So is it the mode now to do a new build on a single acre? Because you can't build 2 homes on a single acre. Then before they even move in, ask for flag lot for another home in the back?
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, this house is a new build. Doesn't look like anybody lives there.
Alan Beislein's house?
Yes.
I think he lives there, but
Okay.
I actually don't know that as a fact. I know he owns the property, but
Well, okay, but this is the same scenario on Edson with another Beislein asking. So that's why I'm wondering if this is just a mode that everybody's in to build a single family on an acre with the expectation that everybody's gonna be able to do a flag lot and build another home on the same acre.
I don't know exactly what their motivations are that way. I would think when they originally bought the homes, they bought it from a builder. I'm not sure exactly what their intentions were when they bought the home, but I think that they are looking at the opportunity. They're saying, hey, you know, probably not gonna use a full acre for their own purposes, and they feel like a good use of that property would be to do a flag lot and either sell the lot or build another home and sell the home. But
Now, they would not have to do that in theory. They could take the lot and create a flag lot before they build anything on it. Just because these lots in this old subdivision we're allowing those,
I think this house has been there for about 5 years.
yeah.
It looks new, but we built the trusses for it about 4 years ago.
Okay.
yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Then a question to the commission, there's a flag lot to the west of this
Mm-hmm.
with, it looks like a double wide manufactured home occupying the flag. That doesn't even come close to setbacks on the back lot line. It is, I can reach the lot line from the back side of the house. So who is in charge of making sure that that is in place when these things are built?
That's the building department. All our job is to say, yes, you can have a flag dot there, or no, you can't, because, and then they have to base it off of code. They still have to go with code, whatever code is. So, for instance, if they want to do a flag lot and the house is too wide and they don't have enough driveway, they cannot do it. It's impossible because they don't
Right.
have enough width on their driveway, even though we said, yeah, you go ahead and do it. But if they don't have enough width on their driveway, they can't do it by code. And so if that house is sitting too close to the property line, that's a code violation that the city has to deal with.
Okay,
We are not the enforcers of code,
no, I know that.
other than we can recommend what they should do, but
Well, and as a private citizen, you could raise an alarm.
correct. Okay, anything else? Okay, with that, I'll make a motion that we recommend to the city for approval of parcel 4045321 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential. You have a second.
I'll second it.
So you have a first by Commissioner Charles Bradshaw, second by Mr. Barlow. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, amendment for 40421-067 from RE1A residential to R120 single family. Please introduce this one, Vance.
Okay, this is an application by Mr. Arvin Black. He's
I
got
wish he was here.
roughly 4 acres
Amen.
on Johnson Avenue between Barlow and Hammond that he wants to develop down and create 4 R120 and keep the center as a roughly 2-acre lot for himself.
So I have a question on that, and he's not here to answer. Did he bring anything forward as like how he wants to lay it out, or? Because my concern is that property is so big that if he tries to make if he's gonna have 2 acres behind his house, it might be all right, going clear back.
Right, his plan is to cut off 2 lots on Barlow, 2 lots on Hammond.
Okay, so he'd have access on those 2
Center,
streets, okay.
right.
That was my question,
And
would be my
develop
question.
those to access off of those streets.
And if
is
that's
way
the
he
case, then I don't
presented it.
have any issues with it, but if we were gonna have a little
Now, of
mini
course, he'll
street
have
or
to do a,
something like that, then I would have some
Right.
concerns, but if it's just 2 lots off those 2 streets, then I don't have any concerns.
that's what his plan is.
Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions or concerns on this one? Okay, we'll entertain a motion on number 8.
I'll make a motion. We recommend to City Council to approve the zoning map amendment for parcel 40421-067 from RE1A residential to R1-2 single family residential.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion by Commissioner
Steve.
Steed. Had a brain thing there. And a second by Commissioner Michael Bradshaw. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9, amendment for parcel 40453-325 from RE1A residential to R112, single-family residential. Please introduce this one.
Okay, this one is an application by Mr. Jared Beislein to create a flag lot. It would open off of Edson. I believe this one's the one off of Edson. So it's just pretty straightforward flag lot.
Okay, any questions on this one? Okay, we'll entertain a motion for this one.
I'll make the motion to recommend the zoning map amendment for parcel 404-53-325 from RE1A to R112.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Barlow and a second by Commissioner Steed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 9 carries. Okay, 10. Amendment for parcel 40453-077A from RE1A residential estate to C2 commercial. Anything on this? Will you introduce this one, please, Vance? And we didn't have anybody.
There was no written comments
Okay.
received.
All right.
Excuse me. Okay, this one is the old school over on the corner of Richard and Arizona. The UEP Trust is requesting that be rezoned to a commercial. They've requested the C2 community commercial. Their idea is they want to put that building up for lease or sale for commercial use.
Do you know why they want to go with C2?
I don't, and I didn't dig into the code to see what the difference between C1 and C2 would do for them there.
How does the city feel? What does staff feel about C2 in that area? Because, like, public comment, you know, that gives them a lot of latitude, leeway.
Right, and even C1 would give them quite a bit. We have from a staff standpoint, we have no objection to the C2 because that allows restaurants, it allows doctors' offices, it allows a lot of things. And yeah, potentially, if somebody could make it fit on the site, they could bulldoze the building and put a motel. I don't know if they get enough parking there. I mean, that's a pretty small parcel for that much square foot. If they're using it for their intended purposes or what they've stated, then they would have adequate parking.
What have they stated?
That, well, their intent is to take at least part of it and move the brewery over there and create a restaurant.
The edge of the world.
They want to move, the Edge of the World wants to move because they're having a conflict with the restaurant apparently. And then they want to take some of the other building and convert it to retail space that could be rented or leased out. Small shop retail type things.
Did they talk about what percentage they'd want to make into
No.
the service end of things?
No, we haven't seen any kind of a site plan as far as that. I don't know if they've got that far. I think the people looking at leasing that building are basically saying, you guys go figure out the zoning, and then we'll see if they've put in the intent to purchase or lease if they can get the zoning.
Is there adequate parking for that kind of a facility? It's a
Yes,
small parcel.
yes, there is. I think there is.
Parking on the front and the back
Yeah,
right
on the
now.
back, there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
It
But
does
they-
not include that piece to the left, right, where that
No.
where that
No, they segmented
The-
it.
shed is or whatever.
Right,
That's
the
the
red
best.
line on the one map pretty much shows where the parcel is. They split that, and they've split the old basketball court into another parcel that's separate.
Were there any discussions of what their plans are to do with the rest of the 8 acres?
No, I know they haven't been willing to talk about selling it yet, so I don't know if they have plans for that or if they just waiting.
I've heard soccer park, I've heard a bunch of different ideas, but nothing concrete.
So if, what's the what would be what would restrict them in a C1?
Well, I apologize, I don't have that in front of me.
And I forgot to bring my book, so I don't have it
And I
either.
didn't bring my computer down with
Well,
me.
the C1, the restaurant across the street is a C1.
Right.
If this is right.
Neighborhood commercial versus
So
community
I think it
commercial.
doesn't matter if it's C1 or 2, they can still do a restaurant. If I
Yeah, but you
understand.
can't do a hotel on C1.
Right.
Well, and to me, that's a little bit of a straw man argument because their intent is
Right.
to put that building to work.
Which it's
good.
set up for a strip
Building is
mall.
structurally sound.
Yeah,
It could easily be converted to
it'd be
a
a beautiful
retail space.
But the current business model, if you can call it that, of the brewery is not something that I feel would be welcomed or advisable on that corner. You know, a concert going on or whatever else that has happened here on Central, which has very little residential around it. You know,
Mostly noise, yeah.
Well, we can't decide who's gonna go in there and who's not.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
up to
No.
us
no,
to decide if we're gonna say, yes, it's commercial, or no, it's not.
absolutely, and
And
that's
It really actually is commercial, already. Probably should have been when we did the zoning map, because the building was already there being used as a school, but
well, and I
No.
heard they tried to offer it to Mojave Mojave County as a purchase, and Mojave County said they'd take it for free, but that was about it
As a school.
as a school.
Schools are permitted in residential areas,
right, yeah.
so. That's why
Well,
we did.
I don't really see,
To me, it looks like it matches what's there.
yeah.
It's a similar use as across the street. And ideally, this wouldn't be awesome, but I don't know that you would say no based on what's
Well, the
already
building is very easily used as a commercial building, very easily. Whether it's in a C2 or a C1, it doesn't really matter as far as that. It just limits what they can do in a C2. That's the only difference.
Whoops.
Um,
The description of the C2 is that, professional business services required to meet the daily demands of the larger community. The district may also act as a transition between high-density, centrally located commercial activities customarily found in the central business districts, where it is now, and heavier commercial business use found along major highways.
Vance, I would be in favor of tabling this and see if they will consider going to a C1.
Okay, and we can research that out a little more.
Are the commissioners okay with that?
That's kind of what I was gonna recommend.
And then try to see if they'll come to the
And
meeting.
they need somebody to be here to
Yeah.
plead their case.
They really need somebody here, but let's table it till next month and give them the opportunity to come and present their case, but in the meantime, see if they'll be willing to switch it to a C1, because I don't really think they need a C2 there. And the issue is whatever we do now, in the future, somebody could do whatever they wanted to, once it's sold.
Yep.
Well,
So,
we can put those restrictions on that parcel.
not C2 has
Uh,
a C2.
yeah, when a it's,
Okay, right.
right,
If
that's
it
what I'm
fits
saying.
those parameters, yes.
Yeah. So let's table this one.
Okay. We probably need a motion to
Okay,
table. it.
I make a motion that we table item number 10, the parcel 404530777A, from RE1A residential to C2. I recommend that we table it and see if they will consider a C1. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
So we have 3 seconds, so
Who do we give it to?
let's give it to Carl. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have a question for staff then. Can you encourage them to give us an explanation of what they're gonna do to the north and west? Because if that's gonna be residential parcels, we certainly don't need a brewery on the corner.
We can ask.
My biggest concern is to see if they'll come and so that we can talk to them. Okay, there's that one. Anything else on that one? Item 11. Parcel 40453-160 from RE1A residential estate to R2 small lot residential. Please introduce this one, Vince.
Okay, this is an application by Wilson Barlow to take that parcel, and he wants to rezone it to an R2 with the intention of putting some townhomes there. And I believe Mr. Timpson is here to represent him.
Okay.
Thomas Timpson again. So we're doing this project for Wilson Barlow and Woodruff Home, and they've asked us to rezone, put in this request to the city to rezone to R2. We feel like it's a good spot for this project, considering that the Creekside Park townhouse subdivision is right across the street. So we feel like with that being across the street and then the access to Arizona Avenue and the highway, you know, we feel like it would be a good fit for this location. So I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Are these going to be a for sale or for rent product?
They would like to do for sale, so it'd be subdivided.
So that would do individual lots.
Yeah.
Right, and so with that, if it's approved, then they would have to come back and go through the subdivision process.
And you're talking about a house on the one corner and then a fourplex? Fiveplex?
That's just
Oh, I
a
see.
general idea, just to see what we could get on there. They're even considering demolishing that existing house because it's kind of an older structure that
Okay.
wasn't built that well. And so potentially, you know, with 0.85 acres, you could get up to 10 units. So, but it could be any arrangement of townhouses, really.
Any discussion from commissioners?
Just a question on Creekside Park. That just looks like single wides to me. It doesn't look like townhomes.
The
current.
Creekside subdivision is a little bit kitty corner and kind of wraps around the back side of those double wides.
Against
And it's,
Academy, the old dairy.
Yeah, it goes between Hammond and Barlow there.
It doesn't currently
Oh,
exist.
It's currently not developed. They've made it so far through the preliminary plat process, and then we haven't seen them for a while.
It's a 55 lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I know.
a 55 unit.
They
And that
were-
was part of why, in talking with Mr. Timpson as he presented this, and felt like that wasn't a bad fit for that neighborhood. It wasn't dropping a townhome out in the middle of a bunch of single families.
Right.
So Creekside is to the
Right here.
east of Lauritzen Park?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No.
South of
west.
Lauritzen Park?
south
Yeah,
and
if you
west.
go past Larson,
It's right here.
it's, you know where that old dairy building and stuff is?
Yeah.
It's just north of that, between those two streets.
Very large.
Yeah. Any other discussion?
Well, so my concern is that, to my understanding, that Creekside Park project is on hold indefinitely. I don't know if they actually are going to even do it. And I think part of the concern is, you know, is this the right place for multifamily? I know that it's already zoned, I know that it has the ability to be there. I am a little concerned that we are inflicting multifamily in a traditionally single-family neighborhood. Even though that one's there and it is approved to build, but they have not even brought forth any plans and my understanding is it's off the table, but.
Well, I think they've gotten up to preliminary plat approval.
Right, they was well into the preliminary plat approval at one point, so.
But you haven't seen that for
No, not for a
several years
while.
now.
Well, it's been
It's been a bit.
several months for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily have a challenge with this. I think that, you know, the density is useful. I wonder if we should consider 3 houses instead of 10.
I had a chance to talk to some of the neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing negative. Everybody was like, "This is great. This would be nice."
For what is shown, how
Some
would they
town.
feel if there's 11 on there?
I didn't know there was 11
Right.
11 up possible.
possible.
Yeah, I think that math's out, 9 point something or maximum of 10. And you math out the maximum of 12 per acre, because it's less than an acre.
Well, and we did hold a citizen review meeting right out there on the project site, and nobody showed up. So, and we sent out letters to everybody
Mhm.
within 300 feet.
But to me, that's a whole different impression if there's 5 nicely done and 2 single families on the property compared to as many as you can put on. Tear down that existing house, which is rough. The one on Harper.
Well, 3 nice units right there in place of the existing residence might actually look better than the existing residence, but
If I lived across the street.
Yeah.
There'd be a chance for the road to be built nicely. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh, either way, they'd have to, yep, curb and gutter.
Anything else? I am gonna make a motion that we recommend for approval to the city of Colorado City zoning map amendment for parcel 40453-160 from RE1A residential estate to R2 small lot residential. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
So we have a first by Commissioner Bradshaw, second by Commissioner, well, Charles Bradshaw, I guess we have to distinguish now. Barlow. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hey,
1 opposed. Motion carries. Okay, finally, to the one that we've been waiting for. This is zoning map amendment for Watchman's Point Pad. Please introduce this one, Vance.
Okay, as you know, this project's been in development for quite some time. We had a public hearing in July, I believe it was, at which time considerable discussion was had. The item was tabled pending some further meetings with the developer. Those meetings were held with 2 of the planning commission members, myself, and the developers. We felt like that was a productive meeting, and from that they have refined their proposal and resubmitted it, and we're ready to consider it. I believe Mr. Wimpy, did I pronounce that right? Is here to represent the developer.
I like your house rendition now. That's good.
Great.
Yeah, and I greatly appreciate what you've done, and I think it is a much more concise document. I think that it flows well. I think it gives a very confident, a highly more confident feel on what the plan will be. I am slightly disappointed there's not a little bit more architectural review and information, but I understand why you didn't, would have been. But anyway, long story short is I think that I think it's been vetted well. So I don't know if you wanted to maybe mention anything that has changed, or if it's just kind of a retool of all the rest of the previous document, and it just condensed and refined.
Yeah, Todd Wimpy, Washman's Point. Good afternoon. I think you hit the nail on the head. This process has been one of refinement, working back and forth and figuring out what fits where and how it's going to flow. And I feel very confident that we're to the point where we have a very solid baseline, if you will, where we can both work together moving forward. And so Yeah, I would say it's an updated version of where we've come from. I wouldn't say there's anything out of normal. We've refined quite a few things with it, as you can see. And I thought for sure I'd get the question of like, man, Todd, all that grain, you gonna still half the water in the county to water that place, right? But, but we just, that's simply there just to provide some
Yep.
distinction, right? Between what is what, roads, buildings, open spaces. And so, yeah, happy to take any other questions.
The one thing I thought was really awesome is like we talked about in the meeting that we had down at his office.
Yeah,
It's very plain, very straightforward, and pretty much anybody can go and look at it and say, this is what you're doing.
yeah.
It's not confusing.
And
And so that worked out really well.
I appreciate the statement, the dark sky statement,
Okay,
paragraph.
good, very good.
But we're gonna try to work on an ordinance to manage that. We'll see how that comes around.
Okay.
And then, the discussion, I know you said it's a pretty picture. It doesn't constitute what is actually going to be green, because I didn't notice in here you do have, low water use plants. So
Sure.
we would
Absolutely.
expect that.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think that it does give the context, the direction, and the trajectory of the project. I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, great work.
Thanks for the feedback. I mean, it was trying to fill out, again, this process has been one of these has never been done here. So appreciate the feedback and the experience that's been brought forth to help us present what we need to put forth. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Wimpy?
No.
Any discussion?
Was there any more input that, since we didn't attend, is that the two of you?
Oh, yeah,
Ray,
this is, so what we recommended is they take this document and make it so that it's it's gonna be understandable for whoever touches it in the future. And it's not confusing, it's just, it's like a book, you can read it, you can go and understand exactly what they're planning on. So 10, 20 years down the road, somebody else can come in, they don't wanna sell it, but say they do, right? It's laid out, everybody knows what's gonna happen in the future.
And the building.
There are still some things that have to be done, obviously, but that was in our thing.
Yes,
That's not, what our job today is to
plan
recommend to the
development.
city for this so that they can take the next step.
right. This step tonight, if it's taken, and if it's approved by the council, it sets the footprint. It doesn't actually approve the PAD. It
Right.
approves the PAD zone.
Right,
And then there's still the development agreement that we've been working on
yes.
that would be finished up and signed off on before the PAD was a completed product.
So we talked about that, we talked about lighting and landscaping and design, architecture, all that stuff. And they've done a magnificent job of doing what we talked about and discussed in that meeting. Very, very productive meeting.
We had, I would say we had most of the technical details that we needed.
Mhm.
What we didn't have was a flow. We didn't have a way to put it forth, that it was easy to understand, that it provided a roadmap for the future.
Right.
And so we've probably put 250 man-hours into this to get it to where it
Yep.
provides that, right? Basically a framework from which we can move forward with, and that it can pass from, me to the next guy, Chuck, anyway, that will just kind of be workable in the future, a document that's a livable
The
document.
other thing I appreciate is your guys' willingness to work with the city and work with us, because like you say, we've never done anything like this. So this is great that we can come together and do these projects. Any discussion?
I had one question you probably addressed. Part of these are gonna have residential up near where the old landfill. What is the environmental, concern there with, toxic gases or whatever? Cause isn't it right adjacent to where the old landfill was, in that upper corner?
Yeah, so has there been any studies or anything deeming that ground hazardous or anything? put
No,
forth
it's
that-
just a landfill, but I
Okay.
don't know what is the common process of making sure that it's safe to live.
Well,
Radon gases and others.
if it's not our property, I don't know if we should.
But you'll be
speak
building
to
right
that.
against it.
Right, yeah, and I mean, if the city wants to take measures to look at that, I mean, first of all, they shouldn't have been dumping anything there that was hazardous. That's against the law, so, but I understand your,
But just the nature of it.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
I just
So,
a thought.
yeah, it's kind of surrounding the whole discussion of radon as well, right? It's pretty prevalent in the state of Utah. It's not yet a requirement, but I think someday it will be, right? That radon testing gets done and implemented and,
There's nothing there. We used to burn that thing every day.
We breathed it in every winter.
okay.
Burned all that toxic stuff out. Here it's all
It's in our
gone.
lungs.
Don't build a basement.
Yeah, don't build a basement. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no
what.
basement.
Like, would there be some restrictions to that area? No basements. No. I don't know.
Yeah, if something was brought forth, we would definitely have to consider it, right? Because as we go through this process, again,
Right.
although we're approving a framework here, we have to bring each phase in, and if there was something that
Okay.
that impeded on our development or a next phase or an adjacent property, we would have to cross that hurdle for sure.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think it's been a lot of work.
I am going to recommend to the city of Colorado City to consider the zoning map for the Watchman's Point pad. And do we have a second?
Second.
We have a first and a second. First by Commissioner Charles Bradshaw, second by Commissioner Pavlonis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We look forward to the next phase.
Process.
Yes. Okay, item number 13, informational summaries.
The only thing I have right now is that the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 3rd.
Okay. And anything else from the commissioners? With that, we will stand adjourned at 5:43. Thank you all, and I'm gonna put this in my thing, because I didn't put one in for this one, because